Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We begin our service today with a nigun, a song without words.
Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Join me. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya. From the top. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Rabbi Joanne Leuven, and I'm joined tonight by Cantor Lisa Siegel, and we are here for a very special simcha to celebrate Lexi on her bat mitzvah this afternoon. If you have your cell phones, I ask that you put them on silence. Even if you're joining us in the ether world, it's beautiful to actually get in the moment and be here together in this sanctuary, in this sacred space to celebrate with Lexi today in this special way. We will continue with our talit blessing. This will be the first time that Lexi gets to wear the talit, the sacred object, this ritual piece of cloth that her parents, Rachel and Jeffrey, will present to her. So I invite you up to the bima. So Lexi, this talit has 4 corners. This special garment is not just like any garment of clothing. You can hold it here. Because on each of these 4 corners, there's these special fringes. And these are meant to remind you of all of the mitzvot. We studied some of them in our time together, and there are many more that you'll get to learn throughout your life. And when you wrap yourself in this talit, not only will you be wrapping yourself in these mitzvot, in these commandments, many of which are good deeds and many of which are Jewish rituals, you'll also remember that you're wrapped in the love of your parents as well. So I invite you to say the blessing. Let me just grab the mic. For your very first time wearing this talit.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef bat tzitzit.
Amen.
Please join us in this Shehechianu moment, thanking God for arriving to this special day together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
it is our custom for the bat mitzvah herself to lead us in prayer. So I invite Lexi up to the bima.
We're going to begin on page 220 in your smaller booklet, your Siddur, 220.
Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehallelucha selah.
Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehallelucha selah. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yehallelucha selah. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever. Happy are those who dwell in your house. They will sing your praises forever.
Va'anachnu nevareya me'ata ve'ad olam. Hallelujah. Please turn to page 224 for the Hati Kaddish.
Yitgadav Yitkadash Merabah Be'alma Divrach Eretei V'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon Uv'yomechon Uv'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael B'hagala Uv'izman Kahariv V'yimeru Amen Yehesh Merabah Mevorach Le'alam Ulo Me'almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudasha v'richu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amihiran be'alma Vimberu, Amen.
We turn to page 226 and rise for the Amidah.
We're on 226. Okay, you ready?
Adonai Sefatifta Ufiya Gita Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah.
Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'konei Hakol Ve'zocher Chasei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen
Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'Ezrat Sarah.
Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol ata Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach umorid hagah Hashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayeh mehemunato, Lishenei ahafar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, מלך מימid ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמנת על החיות הכל ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי הכל.
We remain standing for the Kedusha on page 232.
נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום ככתוב על יד נביאך וקרא זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי אני אדוני אלוהיכם ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור הללויה
Ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador, nagid god leha. Ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador, nagid god leha. Ulenetza netzahim kedusha, nakdish kedusha, nakdish v'shifcha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam leolam va'ed. Ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador, nagid god leha. Ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador,
לדור ודור
ledor vador, nagid god leha. Ulenetza netzahim kedusha, nakdish kedusha, nakdish v'shifcha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam leolam va'ed.
To all generations you will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips.
Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated.
We continue with the Ritzay prayer on pages 236 and 237.
Ritzay
Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael.
Ritzay
Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael.
Utefilatam Utefilatam Be'ahava tekabel Utefilatam Utefilatam Be'ahava tekabel
Ritzay Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael.
Yisrael Amecha Utehi Leratzon Tamid Avodat Yisrael Amecha
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha Yisrael Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu Be'amecha
Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai She'odcha Levadecha Ve'yira Navon.
On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer to life, to peace, and to joy. May we find true rest, holiness in our deeds, worth in our study of Torah. Let us feed on the love of goodness. Let us drink from the love of goodness, restrain our thirst for excess, and cleanse our hearts to serve life well. On this holy Shabbat, may we draw nearer in life, in peace, and in joy. Baruch Ata Adonai She'otcha Levadecha Be'yira Na'avod. We continue with a prayer of gratitude, Modim Anachnu La, on page 238. Modim Anachnu La, She'ata Hu Adonai Eloheinu, Ve'Elohei Avotenu, Ve'imotenu Leolam Va'ed. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day. O God, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O God, one whose mercies never end, O compassionate one whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. For all these things, O sovereign, let your name be forever praised and blessed. O God, our Redeemer and Helper, let all who live affirm you and praise your name in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Baruch Ata Adonai Hatov Shimcha Ulcha Na'eh Lehodot. We sing together a prayer for peace, Shalom Rav, page 240.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amecha Yisrael b'chol ed u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. We take a few more minutes for the prayers of our own hearts. Lexi, I think that this is one of the Torah portions that is so meaningful and that is so relatable for so many of us who have taken chances in our lives, followed our hearts, took tremendous risks, and received blessings for it. And as you begin your Jewish journey into adulthood, we hope and pray that you will be one of those amongst your peers that takes those chances, that takes tremendous journeys, and feels blessed for it. L'chilach, based on your parsha. L'chilach, to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. L'chilach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. L'chilach, l'chilach, and I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. L'chilach, to the place that I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'chilach, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing, and you shall be a blessing. L'chilach.
Please rise as we begin our Torah service and turn to page 246 as Lexi and I open the ark.
Ki metzion tetzeh Torah, ki metzion tetzeh Torah, udevar Adonai merushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amu Yisrael B'Kdushato Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadol Adonai Iti Uneromema Shemo Yachdav.
Lexi, this here, as you know, is the Torah. This is Israel's sacred heritage and tradition. And wherever the Jewish people have gone, the Torah has been with them. And symbolic of this, there's a chain of tradition from all the way back in the Torah itself through you today. And to show this passing down from generation to generation, Lador Vador, this chain of tradition, we are going to meet your family at the base of the bima, and they will physically pass down and symbolically pass down both the physical Torah and also the values and the spirit of the Torah to you. So I invite up Lexi's grandparents and parents.
We are gifts and we are blessing. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Lador Vador Nagid God Lecha. Lador Vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Lador Vador, these lips will praise your name. Lador Vador Nagid God Lecha. Lador Vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Lador Vador, these lips will praise your name. Lecha Adonai Hagedola V'Hagevora V'Hatiferet V'Hanetzach V'Hahod Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Chol B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Lecha Adonai HaMamlacha V'Hamidnaseh Lechol Rosh.
You may be seated. And before Lexi reads from the Torah, she will receive a blessing from her parents. So it is my honor to call back up Rachel and Jeffrey to bless Lexi on this day.
It was early April 2008. As I lie on the table at Baptist Hospital, Having my ultrasound, I hear the tech out of the words, "It's a girl." The tears stream down my face. Daddy lets out a loud sigh, followed by, "Thank God." A daughter, a baby girl. You arrived 3 days early on October 4th, 2008, to complete our family. I painted your room Pepto-Bismol pink, bought as many pink onesies and dresses as I could find, headbands and bows to attach to the few wispy hairs on your head. I dressed you up like a doll. This went on until the time you were able to make your own choices, which was early on. And you decided, nope, not for me. Basketball shorts and a Nike shirt. I didn't know what to make of it. I'd be lying if I didn't say or think to myself, I waited for a daughter, and now this? And the other part of me thought, embrace it. I let you do you. Along with the basketball shorts and tees, you began to participate in predominantly boys' leagues and sports, holding your own every step of the way. When you scored on the court, everybody was rooting for you. And when you got knocked down, you got right back up, tough as nails. As a third child, you were schlepped around for whatever the boys did, and you loved it. From the time you could walk, you have always chosen to keep up with the brothers, which has made you strong in every sense of the word. Your favorite activities were, and still are to this day, playing in-room basketball with Colton and Dylan and their friends, throwing a football or whipping a baseball out in the backyard with Dylan, and wrestling or fighting with Colton till someone comes out of the room or in from the pool crying. And by someone, I mean you. However, you always go back for more. Around the time you were 5, you decided you wanted to play golf. At first, I think it was to tag along with Daddy and spend alone time with him. But it quickly evolved into a love of the game. Those who play golf know it requires patience, endless practice, concentration, fierce dedication, and time. You aren't afraid of any of it. I drop you at Lagor's 5 days a week, and everyone knows Lexi Weissman. From the bag boys, the golf pros, the pool staff, members of all ages respect and admire your love for the game. I remember a few years back, you played in an inter-club match. It was really hot, and I asked you, "Can I take your hat?" You adamantly said no. You competed, and you won. When they called your name to come up and receive your medal, you ripped off the hat and let those long locks fall down. I remember you telling me after you didn't want the boys to think they had an advantage just because you were a girl. But once you won, you wanted to remind them, "Yep, I beat you." Always remember that. While we are still living in a man's world, we have a woman vice president, a woman speaker of the House, 2 amazing women up here on the stage tonight, Rabbi Loibin and Cantor Siegel. You, as a woman, can do anything you want, and set your mind to it. When you aren't practicing golf, studying for school, spending time with friends or your grandparents, watching YouTube or Netflix in your room, you are literally my shadow, fighting with Bella for your spot next to me on the bed. The 3 of us girls watch Housewives, Family Feud, Buddy versus Duff, and dog reels late at night and on Sundays when the boys are watching football. Those who know me well know I love to lay in my bed on my downtime. Doing this with you is a dream come true for me. Whatever you set your mind to, you accomplish, whether it's competing in drive chip putt, trying out to play drums when you've never played before and are selected out of 30-plus kids to represent your school in an IB band, making pasta from scratch with 3 ingredients after watching a cooking video, or even your prep for today. You love to try new things, aren't afraid of the outcome. This will serve you well in life. I guess letting you do your many years back worked out. Hardly a basketball shirt in sight tonight. I'm sure most in the room are wondering who this is standing up here. It's Lexi. In fact, most days you're in my closet looking for a top or shoes to borrow, asking me for advice, what looks good with what, before heading out with friends. Nothing makes me happier. But remember, the handbags are still off limits. You are smart. You are beautiful on the inside and out. You are a good friend. You are resilient. You are independent. You are confident. You are exhausting at times. You are without question my best friend. Never forget, you are one of my 3 greatest accomplishments. You make me proud to be your mom. I am in awe of you every single day. Continue to do you. There's nothing you can't do. I love you.
Well, that's a hard act to follow. Lexi, I want to start by telling you your mom and I love you, but not any more than we did yesterday. There's nothing that you could ever do that would make us love you any more or any less. Today, we're especially proud of you, though. You started a little slowly with your preparation, which was interrupted by 7 weeks of camp. Preparing for this part of the day has not been your favorite part, but over the last month, you've been so focused, practicing pretty much all the time, and I mean all the time and everywhere. In the living room while the boys and I were watching football, and certain people might have yelled, "Come on, Lexi," or possibly worse. In our bedroom while Mom and I watched TV, and other people might have said, "Can you please go in your room?" or possibly worse. But as you always do, you ignored those voices and focused on what you needed to do. It's not easy to be a third child, the baby of the family, and in our family, the only girl. By the time you were born, Mom and I were kind of tired of all the baby proofing, or it had broken and we weren't replacing it, so it was good luck, Lexi. And please don't drink the Windex. Neither of us can remember teaching you to read. Weissman legend has it you were 2 years old and calling out sight words from the other side of the room when we were showing the sight cards to Colton. This is probably not true, but it feels true. And of course, you had to overcome me dropping you on your head at Legoland. I mean, we'll never really know what might have been, but it seems like you're doing fine. What a magnificent, complex person you are. A sophisticated and grown-up young lady is standing in front of me in your chic dress and high heels. When did this happen? But we all know that if a basketball game broke out, or I told you we could go hit balls for a few minutes before the party at Lagorce, or if Colton offered you a closed-door, no-holds-barred fight in his room right now, anyone that knows you even a little bit knows that it would be on. You are courageous, adventurous, and curious. You say yes before you even know the question. From the time you were little and to this day, anytime Mom or I asked, does anyone want to go, you are in before we reveal the destination or the activity. You're always open to an adventure, big or small. You have no fear, no hesitation. You have only one gear, forward. Since the time you were little, you were always interested in sports. Basketball was your first love. When you were too little to play, you were the biggest fan of Dylan's travel team. In their tournaments, you would wear his old uniforms and sit on the bench with the team. When the team would huddle in timeouts, you would literally stand in the huddle and listen to the X's and O's. When you were old enough to play, you would go with the boys every weekend to the JCC to train and practice with them in the backyard. They, of course, were merciless. Forget letting you win, they never let you get a shot off, and would taunt you after every block shot. But you let it bother you, but you never let it stop you. It definitely toughened you up and sharpened your competitive edge. When you were finally old enough to play in the league, they didn't have a girls' league, so you played with the boys. There are boys in that league that years from now will be telling their therapist about when you mercilessly ripped the ball away from them like they were an infant. And when there was finally a girls' travel team, you made the most of the opportunity. You played every single play like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals, diving on the floor for every loose ball. You drew more shooting fouls than Dwayne Wade in the 2006 NBA Finals. And when Coach Joe gave you the MVP award, you both cried. You, I think, because you were finally recognized for being the ball player that you are, and him, as he described not only how good you were, but how you poured every ounce of your being into every single play. And of course, there's golf. I've been asked many different times how I got you interested in golf, and the truth is, I had very little to do with it. It was always you. When I took you from the first time when you were probably 5, you would hit balls nonstop, only stopping when you needed me to put a new tee in the ground. Over time, you showed that golf was more than just an activity for you, it was a priority. So you started in clinics and then with lessons. In the last few years, it's become a passion. You practice regularly and diligently at Lagorce, where all the range rats know you by first name, and when you're not with me, everyone asks where you are. You love to play in tournaments every chance you get. You have a true love for the game and the drive to reach your potential. As it is my passion too, golf has become a big part of our relationship. We play at Lagorce pretty much every weekend. Last summer when we were in Lenox, we played every Saturday together. I get to caddy for you at tournaments on the weekends. And win or lose, we have a tradition after every tournament, which is to find the best egg sandwich in the area. I enjoy those meals with you, talking about the round or anything else that comes up as much as anything. I feel lucky to get to do those things with you, and I especially enjoy the time we spend on the course together when it's just you and me with no one else around and nothing else going on. Whether you're a recreational golfer or on the LPGA Tour or somewhere in between, I hope that you and I are enjoying golf together for a long time to come. Lexi, on your bat mitzvah, I just want to tell you that Mom and I think you are a wonderful person, daughter, granddaughter, sister, cousin, and friend. You respect people, and you don't waste time with people that don't respect you. While you are fierce, there's not a mean bone in your body, and what I admire most about you is that you just do your own thing. And while you welcome others to participate with you, and you love when they do, you don't need them. You do what makes you happy, and you really don't care what anyone else thinks, but not in a defiant or selfish way, but in the most positive and constructive way. It's truly remarkable. Mazel tov on your bat mitzvah. Mom and I love you more than you'll ever know, and always will.
Such beautiful words. Thank you so much for sharing. I knew so many things and I learned so many things. What a special person that's about to read Torah for the first time. Well, she's read Torah many times to get to this day, but for all of you, on this day it'll be her first Aliyah, and she'll be reading from the Torah portion Lech Lecha, which is, because it's a Saturday afternoon, actually the beginning of the new week. It's next week's Torah portion. And up until now, we've had 2 Torah portions so far, as we restarted the Torah just very recently, about the creation of the world and the creation of people. And during this Torah portion, during Lech Lecha, we get to meet the creation, the beginning of the Jewish family. And in this Torah portion, Abraham and Sarah make this covenant with God, and the covenant isn't just a one-way promise, it's 2 ways that they are each promised so many things. God promises Abraham and Sarah in turn promise God. And one of the promises that is made is that they will become a great nation, that all of their people will be as numerous as the grains of sand in the beach and as numerous as the stars in the sky. And we can see the realization of that promise as we have one of the stars here with us today. One of those promised stars is Lexi, and she will be reading from Lech Lecha, which you can find in your plout, so the bigger book that you have there, the Torah, on page 91, if you'd like to follow along.
Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah harishona. For the first Aliyah, I would like to call up my grandparents, Claudia and Dennis Colton, and Junie and Peter Weissman, and my aunts and uncles, Kimberly and Adam Colton, and Romy and Eric Weissman, to the Torah.
Ready? Ready?
To you.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bohar bonu mikol haramim. V'natan bonu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Avram, Lech lecha me'artzecha u'mimoladtecha u'miveit aviha el ha'aretz asher areka. Ve'eescha legoy gadol va'avarechecha va'agadala shemecha ve'hayei baracha va'avarecha mevarachecha umkalelcha ha'or v'nivrechu vecha kol mishpechot ha'adamah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nota b'Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ya'amdu ha'olim la'aliyah hashniya. Avi Yaakov ben V'imi Rachel Leah V'ya'i David Ve'adin. For the second Aliyah, I led to call my parents, Rachel and Jeffrey Weissman, and my brothers, Dylan and Colton Weissman, to the Torah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayelech Avram ka'asher diber elav Adonai, Vayelech ito Lot ve'Avram ben chamesh shanim v'shivim shana b'tzeito mecharan vayika Avram et Sarai ishto ve'et Lot ben achiv ve'et kol rechushem asher rechushu ve'et hanefesh asher asu becharan vayetzeu lalechet artza Kanaan Vayava'u artza Kanaan.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'Eloheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen.
And now this is the time where Lexi will be called up to the Torah officially as a bat mitzvah. This is her aliyah, where she will chant the maftir. And so we do this with the special silver Sephardic scroll that's housed here in the ark. So we ask that you please rise for this moment. Ta'amod, ta'amod, habachura bat hamitzvah v'aliyat haTorah. Surely Ella bat Yaakov v'Rachel Leah. Chizki, chizki.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorah.
Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorah leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Ve'Avraham ben Tishim v'tesha shana b'himolo beisar urleto. V'Yishmael beno ben shelosh esrei shana b'himolo it beisar urleto. Be'etzem hayom hazeh nimol Avraham v'Yishmael beno v'chol anshe ve'to yilid bayit u'miknat kesef me'et ben echar nimolu ito. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
You may be seated.
I just want to say this is the quietest, most attentive, wonderful crowd I think I've had ever. Okay, we're going to continue with the Haftarah, and I guess you're saving all your energy for later or something. We're continuing with the Haftarah, the prophetic portion that is related to Lexi's Torah portion.
The Haftarah for Shabbat Lech Lecha can be found on page 118. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baharbin v'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'invi'eh ha'emet v'tzedek. Lama tomar Yaakov utaber Yisrael nistara darki me Adonai ume Elohai mishpeti ya'avor. Our Haftarah continues toward the end at chapter 41, verse 16. Tizraim verua tisaem usara tafitz otam ve'ata tagil badonai utaber bitosh Yisrael titalel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek. For the Torah, for the privilege of worship, for the prophets, and for this Shabbat that you, Adonai, our God, have given us, for holiness and rest, for honor and glory, we thank and bless you. May your name be blessed forever by every living being. Praise to you, Adonai, for the Sabbath and its holiness. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch u'baruch shemo.
Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Okay. Great job. she's not sitting down yet. Okay. All right. So, this is your speech, okay? You need to go very slow. Everything we talked about, use expression. Don't drop words.
My Torah portion is Lech Lecha, which is in the book of Genesis, the first book of Torah. In this Torah portion, Avram and Sarai have to leave home to go to Canaan. When they get there, there is a famine, so they have to go to Egypt. Avram lies and tells people Sarai is his sister, so she has to go move into the Pharaoh's palace. When this happens, there are plagues in Egypt. Then Sarai moves out when Pharaoh realizes that the plagues are because of her. At the end of the Torah portion, God changes their names from Avram and Sarai to Abraham and Sarah. What I found interesting about my Torah portion is that Abram does not know what to expect, but he trusts God and leaves home. At first, when they move, it is hard. They were not used to the new place and the new people. They lived in one place their whole life, and suddenly they were living somewhere else. It's going to always be hard to go to a new place, even if you are excited about the change, because there's an adjustment period no matter what. It was even more difficult for Abram and Sarai because as soon as they moved to the new land where God told them to go, a famine happened. Even though there was no food and they even had to go to Egypt for a little while, they still stuck it out. Because Avram and Sarai didn't give up and pushed through the tough transition to a new place, they got rewarded by God changing their names to Abraham and Sarah. The new letter added to each of their names means that God is with them. My Torah portion relates to my life in the way that when I went to camp, I did not know what to expect. Although I did not know what to expect, I went, and like Sarah and Abraham, I got rewarded by taking a risk. I got rewarded with some of the best friends I'll ever have, in a place where I can go over the summer and hang out with my friends 24/7. To me, it is also a place where I can be stress-free because I don't have to worry about school. Of course, it was different than being at home, and it took some time to getting used to. I learned from this Torah portion and from my experience at camp that it's important to take chances because it might turn out the best decision you've ever made. Becoming a bat mitzvah means to me that I have responsibilities, like doing mitzvot, which means commandments. Some of these mitzvot include celebrating the holidays, fasting, eating challah, and lighting the Shabbat candles. I am also responsible for helping my community. Becoming a bat mitzvah means being independent, and I plan on using my Jewish values to take responsibility for myself and others. In honor of becoming a bat mitzvah, I am donating to Jamie's Rescue, which is a dog rescue in Miami. I would like to thank Cantor Nicholson and Cantor Siegel for helping me learn my prayers and Torah portion, and Rabbi Loiben for being a great mentor. Thank you to everyone who donated to my mitzvah project and for everyone coming to support me tonight. Thank you to my friends for always having fun with me and making me laugh. And thank you to my camp friends for all the amazing fun we have together and for coming to support me tonight. Thank you to my best friend Emmy for always being there for me, late night conversations, and making me laugh uncontrollably. Thank you to all my grandparents. Thank you to Grandma Judy for always spending time with me, baking with me, and always making sure I'm happy. Thank you to Grandpa Peter for all the board games we play, even though some of the time you cannot tell the tiles apart. Having the best time at basketball games with me, and most importantly, being there for me. Thank you for all the fun. Thank you to Grandma Cece for all the fun Big Brother marathons, all the cookies we make together, all of our sleepovers, and for always loving and supporting me. Papa D, thank you for all our rounds of golf, all our episodes of Shark Tank and 2.5 Men, being such a great loving grandpa and believing in me more than anybody. Thank you to my brother Colton for all the fun we have together, from pool fights to mini hoop dunk contests. I cannot imagine our last mini hoop game. Thank you to my brother Dylan for always looking out for me and making sure I'm okay. Thank you, Dad, for everything you do for me, for being the best golf partner ever, and for helping me follow my dreams. Thank you to my mom for always supporting me, sad or happy, win or lose, always being on my side, for putting up with me, loving me no matter how much I bother you, planning this night and making sure everything is perfect just for me, and being the best mom ever. Thank you for all the love and support. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom and Yasher Koach. Lexi, getting to know you and having the opportunity To be here with you on this day and to study together and to hang out during our mentor sessions has been an absolute pleasure and a joy. We would have so much fun together. You came to study Torah, and we did a lot of that, but we would get randomly off topic on the most hilarious things. Even just now, when we were right back there, we had a whole plan if there was a blackout that we were going to turn this into a concert with the lights and the phones and have a glow-in-the-dark bat mitzvah. That would have been so cool. We just came up with that out of nowhere, and that was very similar to how all of our study sessions were. I have so many words to say about you. You're sweet, you're kind, you have this humbleness about you, but it's clear that you're so strong, you're so brave. And I have to say, well, the first word that came to mind when I was thinking about what to say about you is just cool. You're cool. And it was a lot of fun getting to know you, and I know that this is only the beginning of our relationship. We studied the text of your Torah portion together, Lech Lecha, as Abraham hears a voice of God calling him and tells him to go somewhere totally unknown. And as we were talking about this Torah portion, you had just got back from camp. And immediately you made the connection that sometimes you just have to have faith that everything will work out and take a chance, as you spoke about just now in your Devar Torah. Even though it was clear that leaving home for the first time was something that might have been intimidating, you spoke about the comfort of having your family and friends there with you, and your family friends there with you, and you decided you were going to take that risk because you had that feeling that you had trusted your gut, and I hope that you continue to do that throughout your life. And Abraham and Sarah didn't have to go through this journey alone either. They had a lot of people that actually went on this journey with them, as the Torah portion says. They had a whole crew to support them, and clearly, you do too. Clearly, your tribe is strong, and you have a support system here in all of your family and friends. Just like Abraham and Sarah in the Torah portion, I can see that you are fiercely loyal to the ones lucky enough to call you a friend. And I know that you will continue to lech lecha, to go forward. As your dad mentioned, your one gear is forward, and this is the perfect Torah portion because that's essentially what lech lecha means, is go forward. You are a sweet, kind, and thoughtful person, and like your role models in this Torah portion who were promised greatness, I know that you will be blessed with greatness as well. Your bat mitzvah today is the foundation for the rest of your Jewish life. You have a beautiful respect for the tradition, and you will always have this foundation both here in the temple and through the love and support of your family and friends. Getting to know you has been so much fun and an extremely meaningful experience for me. And I look forward to spending more time with you through temple activities and hopefully lots of trips. I'm so proud of you, Lexi, and I know that everyone here is proud of you as well. Mazal tov. And I am going to now have the great honor to bless you, along with Cantor, in the name of our ancients. The oldest blessing in all of Judaism actually comes right here from the Torah, the priestly blessing.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'kuneka.
May God shine God's light upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May you feel God's presence with you always, and may you find peace.
Amen.
Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. We begin to conclude the service with the Aleinu prayer. Please rise as we return the Torah to the Ark and open.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'ateit gedula li'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyeh ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemeshpachot ha'adama, shelo sam shelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלך melechei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
At this point in our service, we remember all of those who are no longer with us, and we call to mind those especially who were special to Lexi and Lexi's family. Today we think of Audrey and Irving Colton, Shirley and Arnold Maybe, Edith and David Markinson, and Helen and Daniel Weissman. If you are in a period of mourning and would like to add names to our Kaddish list this evening so that we can pray with you together, feel free to say their names out loud at this time. We keep those names in our minds and close to our hearts, and their memories close with us, as we know that they would be proud to be here on this day, as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon uv'yomachon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagala ubizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnaseh. Ve'yitadar ve'yitaleh ve'yitalal. Shemei dekudesha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata ve'nechamata. Damiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for us a blessing. You may be seated. You may all be seated except our board presenter for the evening. It is my honor to call up Julie Basner to present Lexi with a few special gifts.
Mazel tov. Oh my God, this is such a great honor. You have no idea. As you know, I have known you your whole life. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Yeah. I've celebrated you through your birthdays and your award ceremonies and graduations and all your milestones, big and small. And now I can add bat mitzvah to the list. And by the way, you led this service exceptionally with the mask on and everything. Amazing. So just a quick story, Lex. About 13 and a half years ago, I was at Fisher Park with your mom and the boys, but we weren't actually together because at the time, your mom and I hadn't really known each other. But we noticed each other because we were both pregnant. So we started talking. She was obviously pregnant with you, and I was pregnant with Emmy. And at that moment, I had no idea that she would be carrying one of Emmy's future best friends, that she would become one of mine, and that our families would be as close as they are. And we are so lucky and grateful for that. But today, you accomplished so much, and everybody who loves you is so proud of you, but I know that it's really just the beginning of so many more achievements, and I know that because I know you. I actually had written this prior, and a lot of these same characteristics keep coming up You are extremely funny and very smart, beautiful inside and out, super confident. And if that's not enough, you're striving to become a pro golfer. So I mean, not for nothing, but where can you go from here but up? And it is our hope to be there for you every step of that journey, because we love you so much. And so I just really why I'm up here is to present you on behalf of the sisterhood with a Kiddush cup, so you could observe Shabbat with your family going forward, and also a travel size Tanakh, which is a Bible, and an Israeli. This is an Israeli bond. I'm a little unfamiliar with this one, but take a look at it when you get home. And you look stunning. I don't want to mess you up, but thank you. I love you so much. Congratulations.
Well, something sweet's going around really, really quick. Really quick.
Really quick.
Really quick.
Maybe even quicker than the way it's going around now.
Really quick, because we're going to shower Lexi with some sweetness in just a minute.
Lexi, are you ready for this? I feel like you've spent your entire life preparing for this moment. All right, the moment she's been waiting for, we've all been waiting for. You've done it. You read from the Torah. You presented beautiful lessons to the congregation, and now it is their turn to shower you with sweetness. And I'm going to go hide over here. Good luck.
Simmen tov, a mazel tov, a mazel tov, a simmen tov, a mazel tov, a simmen tov, a mazel tov, a simmen tov, yelanu. Simmen tov, a mazel tov, a simmen.
Any kids that we have with us today are welcome to run up and collect the candy now. You give a few more over here, over here, over here. And as we conclude the service and conclude Shabbat, we observe with special blessings of light and of sweetness as we go into the week with such beauty after this service. I invite back up Lexi's family for Havdalah.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei Yai lai la 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 ya la la yai lai la 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 ya la 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 yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la yai lai la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ha'mavdil bein kodesh lechol ha'mavdil bein kodesh lechol yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la yai lai la 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 ya la 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 ya la la And Shabbat has come to an end, and now we wish each other a good week by singing Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Shua Tov, Mazal Tov.
Mazal Tov.